And welcome to another episode of the Supersub Podcast. Thank you all for joining us. We are approaching double digits in terms of episodes. Just want to say, everyone out there, thank you for listening. We really appreciate everyone at home taking the time to listen to our soccer commentary every week. Again, we are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. We are live on TikTok. Check us out. Frankly, all the competition that we look at doesn't look at the game in the same way as we do. So we have a cultured, refined conversation here. You're in for champagne football, as they say. And so with that, welcome everyone. And I'll introduce the guys. Chris, Brian, how are you both doing this morning or this afternoon?
A long day at work, huh, Colburn? It's not even close to morning.
It's afternoon. It's afternoon in France.
Actually, it's morning time in Paris. Yes, this is true.
I'm good.
It's the Masters week. I'm a Masters polo on. I'm pretty fired up. Tiger Woods won under par today. That was sick.
Ooh, I was expecting it to be red.
I only have this one, so that's there was no decision making for that.
I'll have it noted for the record that you're not in red.
Yeah, that's fine. That'd be a little too much. A Masters red polo. I'm not trying that hard. And also, my dad got this for me, so it's free.
It's also Thursday. Yeah,
exactly. Champions League today as well for anyone that, or not today, but this week.
Long week.
Yeah, long week. Thanks, man.
Yeah. It's been a great quarterfinal week of Champions League. We've had some first leg upset already, so I've seen some great football by a world-class player that's been talked to being one of the greatest of all time. I said, not the greatest. Let's not get too excited. And you'll see who we're talking about. So it was great football from that guy who pulled a hat trick, a coup du chapeau. So if I say it in French, might be French guy. So wink, wink.
We all seem to be pretty into this guy.
Who are you talking about, Chris?
I don't know. Is that Kylian Mbappe? Oh no, too soon. I inflicted that on my own. He got eliminated by that guy at the previous round. And some say he's not good enough. It was Cristiano Ronaldo that won all those Champions League and he didn't do enough. Yeah, he was the guy giving him assists and also scored like 20 goals those season, 15, 20 goals. So, yeah.
You know what? Actually, let's talk about that. So I know we have an agenda, but you know what? We might as well discuss that guy in particular and that game in particular. So why don't I leave it to you, Chris, to just recap the listeners on exactly what happened there?
That's true. Thanks, Corbin, for giving me a shot. So I've been a bit too mysterious without not saying his name, even though he's in present on all the backgrounds of all of our green screens. So who I'm referring to is Karim the Dream.
There it is.
We love Karim the Dream.
We do love Karim the Dream. I don't know who doesn't love Karim the Dream. He's one of the rare players that has gotten better with time. So he's 34. It's going to be 35 at the end of the World Cup in Qatar. And each year he's getting better physically.
Chris, I watched him in 2008 on a YouTube highlight. France, Italy, Euro 2008. And he started along with Henry up top. That is crazy to me. Like, he has been excellent starting for the French national team in 2008. And we are here in 2022 talking about his hat trick on the road in the Champions League. What a huge boss.
Who won that Euro game?
Oh, thanks. You should ask Chris.
It was Italy 2-0.
Wow.
A sweet red card from a tackle behind the back plus. And that was the time of the double punishment. I don't know if you say that in English. Double penalty, where basically you get a red card, so you end up finishing the game at 10, and on top of that, you concede a penalty. So that's one of the good rules that have changed so far. But yeah, so
wasn't it actually triple jeopardy? You'd miss the next game.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
yeah, it's triple. I thought it was a horrible rule.
I know it was horrible.
Pirlo, by the way, Brian, in case you were curious, Pirlo actually hit, speaking of upper 90, his penalty on the red card in that game was upper 90. Sick.
that was an awful French team led by an awful French coach, Raymond Domenech, whose nickname when he was a football player in the 80s was the Butcher. I'm not even inventing that. He was the Butcher because he was not good with his feet and he was tackling high and he got a lot of red cards. And he should have been sacked a long time ago.
You know, actually was the head coach or the manager of Italy at the time is Roberto Donadoni. And speaking of bad managers, that is another tough look for Italy. After Marcello Lippi's World Cup winning squad, they brought him in and it was a disaster.
And brought Lippi back right away.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, we tried something else. We don't like that.
Shit. Let's go back.
Yeah, so
yes. Anyway, sorry, Chris.
Karim the Dream's career has fallen ups and downs. So it started up at a very young age in Lyon. At the end of the reign of Lyon, I believe 7 titles in a row, where they had Juninho Pernambucano, probably the best free kick taker of all time. I know there's going to be a little bit of controversy here, like David Beckham was good. Roberto Carlos in his own was good. Rivellino was good.
Mario Balotelli, you know, the names continue.
Pirlo was good. Zidane also scored sweet ones. Messi also used to, until he went to Paris Saint-Germain, used to be good. Neymar also used to be good at them when he was at Paris Saint-Germain. There might be a common point in my analysis here. I don't know what it is. But the Juninho reinvented I said penalty because each free kick seemed like a penalty. He would score from 40 yards out, and he basically invented the free kick floating free kick. So, and all those poor goalkeepers, they thought they were catching the ball, and the ball just like in the last 2 meters, waving away from them. He scored like several, one in Champions League against Werder Bremen at the time when they were good, and Johan Miku was playing. But back to the topic. Karim Benzema, so on the pitch has been great, but also one thing to mention is the reason why he's been banned for France for the 5 years, for almost 6 years is because of issues of the pitch from a blackmailing issue with a teammate of a French team in 2015. And he's appealing because he's been judged guilty in first instance, but now he's going through court appeal, which actually is supposed to be, they are making this fast. Actually.
Is that still going?
Yeah, it's still going. So I think he got like $175,000 fine to Mathieu Valbuena. I don't know if you guys remember Mathieu Valbuena.
Oh, we remember him. We remember this whole thing. I just can't believe it's still going.
Yeah, I mean, the first, it took like several, because there's so many people involved. So basically the whole story, so it's about the entourage of the players. And so one of Karim Benzema's, and most of these players, they come from, I don't know how you say that in English, from defavorized neighborhoods. So they tend to have a entourage that then don't typically follow a educational path that's more frequent, that leads to get to like a day job. And some unfortunately go into drugs and those kind of stuff, or go into a bad issue because they don't have those opportunities. And Karim Benzema is one of best friend, has had issue with the justice, as we say in French, and he's been going to prison for 5 years or something. But Karim Benzema he hasn't changed much from his humble upbringing, and he still remained friends with some of his friends that didn't follow the right path, and that unfortunately led him to be involved in that. So his best friend, that's the one that went to jail, told him like, hey, I have a tape. Can you please tell your teammate that like I have the tape and he just can't talk to me and he won't be released. And so he was the entremetteur. So he was just saying like he was recorded by French justice. And so that leads to that thing. So I just wanted a little bit to say that off the pitch, he has had some issue. That's explained why he's been off from 5 years from the French national team. And for me, that's very important because during those 5 years, he didn't have to go to international break. And some players that have been not called off by their national team, they've been whining and not doing anything for themselves. And he decided to do the Cristiano Ronaldo workout plan.
Like the Kim Kardashian is get off your ass and effing work.
All right, so that's a little bit more outstanding than that. But like he invested in like his own home as like a ice bath. Like he has everything at home to work out. So it was great also for him during the pandemic. And he's like as serious as Cristiano Ronaldo about his diet and all of that. And before he wasn't. And that's how he explained like all the goals that we saw in that game. It was him scoring 2 goals, 2 headers, and he wasn't as complete. So that's one thing for me. Karim Benzema is probably the most complete striker at the moment. That's why I would put him higher than Harry Kane or Lewandowski.
Just kidding.
Yes, if you want to watch this podcast.
By the way, clip that.
Okay. You're gonna have to watch a bit further than England or Great Britain and the Premier League. We watch all Europe, and some of us watch CONCACAF Champions League and MLS. I don't know who that is.
Some of us.
It's a dirty little secret.
And one thing he said about his header game where he sucked, just like Thierry Henry was never a header guy and never was, and Karim Benzema sucked, and now look at the goals he scored. And he said like it's because I have abs, I have 6 packs now, and I worked on it, and that's because since I have that, like he's not in perfect balance, and that's why he's able to not break his neck, and he's able to do that. Like in the image you see that's because of all these abs that he's capable of doing that. And the funny thing is like last year in semi-final, he basically did a first touch with his head where he controlled it, and then he volleyed it in the top bin. And for me, that's why that puts him Karim Benzema as Zidane would say, is the number 9 in the body of a 10. And I think that's perfect idiom or perfect expression to characterize his game. He's unselfish, which is not typically what strikers are. And on the first goal, where it's like he drops deep, gets the ball, passes it to Vinicius, full ball for Vinicius. Vinicius knows where he's gonna do his run, and perfectly like it's difficult to hit that from like almost like 16 yards out, and not again on the same. And perfect. That was a masterclass from him. Like honestly, every game he shows up, it's perfect performances. He rarely disappoints. I don't know what you guys think.
We love Kareem the Dream. What do you mean? What do I think? Look at this guy back here. What an absolute G.
Yeah, and also Brian left
headers.
Kareem the Dream back in 2008 when that photo was taken.
Is it really that old?
No, it's just super grainy. It's like,
oh yeah,
you're a total loser for selecting a lame grainy pic for.
Take the photo.
I can't believe there's a zillion Kareem Benzema photos out there, and it's all grainy. So anyway, all I have to say about that is those headers were elite.
I don't want to hear shit about it. Look at him. Did you know exactly what's going on here? He just scored a sick goal. That's it.
What did you think, Brian?
Super high level. Both headers incredibly difficult, and he just buries them both. It's this super tight, and then the contrast with Lukaku blowing his header in the second half is so stark. Yeah, I mean, the super underappreciated star for a long time. and he's finally having his moment. Ronaldo's gone, and he's reminding everyone of why they won 4 Champions League. It wasn't just Ronaldo; they've had a sick team, and he was a huge part of it. You know, super selfless of him to be able to just let Ronaldo have all the attention, and you know, he was kind of pulling the strings with Modric and Kroos, and you know, now it's his team, and he's kind of carrying them through this Champions League single-handedly, because we saw what Barcelona did to them when he wasn't in the lineup. I'm not sure this is an awesome Madrid team at all, but yeah, no, he was sublime, and then he got the absolute gift from Mendy right at the beginning of the second half, and it's going to be tough for Chelsea to come back after the Benzema masterclass.
The two headers are absolutely sublime, absolutely elite, world class. Brian and I were talking about this. Those two goals are soccer aficionado goals. Those are goals that you watch, you know, as a non-soccer fan, and you may not have a reaction to it, but as someone who cares about sort of football and the beautiful game, those two goals bring a tear to your eye. I mean, they are so smooth.
Yeah, he made it look so easy, because like when you look at it, it sounds easy. It sounds like anyone can do it. But
why don't you just put that ball in the back of the net with your head? It's easy, right? You just put your head to it, no problem.
Just laser header, top shelf, no problem, guys.
Yeah, and exactly, and a header from 16 yards out, like even Giroud cannot do that. Like, and not to hit on Giroud or anything, but like
you can hate on Giroud if you want.
That's okay, even he can't do that.
Another great player, and he scores amazing goals too.
That's okay. It's okay. He's a friend of the pod.
Giroud just scores fluky goals. Benzema is class.
Do you think that Lukaku's miss was that egregious on the other end in the second half?
I think it's a harder chance than an amateur fan might assume. That was obvious. You know, like, I don't know if not every striker's putting that away, that's for sure. And it was a deflected cross, but after watching Benzema put in 2 significantly harder headers in, it just looks shitty. And also Chelsea spent 100 million pounds on him, or whatever it was. So if you're getting 100 million pounds paid for your services better put that shit in the net. That's what I think about that chance.
Yeah, Lukaku in confidence, with confidence, he scores that day in, day out, week in, week out, like no problem. Like a top 10 striker in the world does that. Obviously, if you give it to PFOC, he will PFOC it. But
not a top 10 striker in the world.
But
just outside
in the Swiss league.
And, top 10 in the Swiss
everyone
league.
wants him in the US men's national team, and now he missed a big opportunity at Azteca, and no, they don't want him anymore. But I've been telling
I do feel like the ball watchers in the U.S. men's national team media public saw shades of what's his face, the San Jose
Wondolowski.
Yeah, that
how did you forget him?
They saw shades of
all
that
time.
miss. They saw shades of that miss right there, and they go, he's out.
Tough.
But anyway, going back to the point, I would agree with you, Chris. I think informed Lukaku hits that. It's a lot harder of a chance, to your point, Brian, than I think the average fan would give it credit for. But at the end of the day, that's your job. Your job is to put that in. And he didn't. And at the other end, Benzema is delivering the goods. That's
maybe Courtois, after that sweet save from against Altetico, kind of scared him, and he was like, shit, I got to put this side net. And that caused him to miss.
Speaking of Courtois, that Azpilicueta save I thought was world class as well. Chris, you wanted to offer a question. Best keeper in the world right now?
Yeah, I mean, as much as it pains me to say a Belgian player is at his position, potentially a best player in the world at the moment. Lloris is on the way down. Maignan is rising and he's making big strides in Serie A, leading on the stats of post-shot expected goals, which basically says how hard it was to save the shots he's stopped. But he's not playing Champions League, and Courtois in La Liga he's been outstanding, and he doesn't make mistakes like Edouard Mendy has been doing the last 6 months. And he's very focused. And as you mentioned, he scares the striker. And Lukaku knows him well because he's Belgium too, so he knows him for the national team. How good Courtois is for. So for me, at the moment, he's the best goalkeeper in the world. So I don't know what you think, Brian and Colburn, of my take.
Before the season started, I would have been between Jan Oblak, and I would have thought that Gianluigi Donnarumma was going to be taking that next step towards being the best in the world. After
He was
Euro.
last summer.
Yeah, okay, calm down. You guys didn't even qualify for the World Cup, right? Anyway, no, I would have truthfully expected him to take in the next step. I think that him moving to Paris has kind of just mentally been a bit tough for him, with the Italians booing him whenever he would come home. Probably sucks. And then his Champions League gaffe was pretty terrible. Didn't stop the shot against North Macedonia. So, I wouldn't have thought I would be coming around to thinking that Courtois is the best in the world. But it's hard to argue with, Jan Oblak had a horrible goal, I think, in the group stage, or maybe it was in one of these recent Champions League, I think against Man United, just totally out of position. So Chris, you might be onto something there with Thibaut.
Yeah, that's right. Alisson is doing some gaffes too. Ederson is tough to judge because he plays for a team where basically doesn't concede many chances. So very tough to judge him from that point. And the only goals that are scored and that makes Manchester City being caught by Liverpool, he's not stopped them. So I know it's tough because it might be just one shot a game, but Courtois has one shot a game and he stops them. So for me at the moment, is Courtois the best goalkeeper in the world, because Neuer, and we'll talk about that. Neuer doing gaffes. I've never seen Neuer doing gaffes before.
He's old now. Ederson is the best though on the ball for sure. His distribution is unmatched. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you can be the best goalkeeper in the world when you play for Man City. So
we'll get into that. Can I just make one comment, and then we can move on to the Ancelotti masterclass, and that is Gianluigi Donnarumma playing abroad. How many? Just a quick pop quiz for everyone out there. How many Italian nationals are playing in leagues outside of Italy, professional leagues outside of Italy? How many in total?
2 or 3? No, 3. 3. Jorginho, Verratti, and Donnarumma.
Donnarumma.
The answer is 7. There are 4 in the Bundesliga.
4
that play for the national team?
No. Italians in general.
Oh, that's cheating. I know Enzo Grifo plays in Bundesliga.
Dude, Chris Colburn always does this not specific enough with his question.
Oh, Colburn again, Colburn. Oh, I can't believe you didn't ask this question right.
God damn it. Dude, we would have totally buried that. You didn't give us a chance.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you a follow-up
question. Who
question.
are the 4? So Vincenzo Grifo, is he one of them?
Yeah, he's one of them. Okay, let me ask you a follow-up question. Now that you know the rules, how many English players who are English, how many professional English footballers play outside of England in total?
Okay, so they are not in the national team. You did it again.
They do not.
Yeah, he did the right thing this time.
Yeah, in total.
And Kieran Trippier is back, so he doesn't count anymore.
How many? I want to make sure that we're clear. English being any professional English footballer in I will say top flight league. How many of them playing outside of England?
There is one that plays in Montpellier. That's called Steve Mavididi.
Does the Scottish league count?
No. Outside the United Kingdom.
Chris Smalling.
Wrong again, dude. Wrong again.
I actually don't know if the Scottish league counts.
Tomori. What's his name? Tammy Abrams.
Oh, Tomori. Yeah, that's a good one. Tammy. Nice.
I would say, but now there is more. I don't know if your stuff is accurate, because when I look at the squad and everything, there is more English now in all the squads, and I don't know. So there is actually more than you'd think. So there's probably 15 but I could not name all of them.
Yeah, Colburn, send us your sources.
It's Gab Marcotti is the source.
Oh,
Brian, what's your guess?
My guess is 7.
It's 4.
No, but this is not accurate. I can name more than 4 already.
I will find it. We can talk about.
You know what? It's gonna be so great. We're gonna read it, and Gab's sentence is gonna clarify something that Colburn will have totally glossed over.
This is wrong. In France, there is probably 2, and there is probably one that I missed. So Steve Malididi, Abraham, Tomori, Chris Smalling. That's 4, and there is probably other that I don't know about. In France, there is probably other. I'm sorry, he's wrong on that one, and he's usually not wrong.
English players never go abroad, but fun fact, I think it was Kevin Keegan won 2 Ballon d'Ors playing in Germany back in the 70s. How about that?
Yeah, in Hamburg, right?
It was either Hamburg or it was Mönchengladbach. I can't remember.
Yeah, maybe you're right. English player, League 1.
But I thought that was great. Best player in the world. He went and did it in Germany. And then they didn't even make the World Cup during those times. That's because England stinks consistently. Just read the Marcotti.
Yeah. Okay, so
what detail?
Yeah, that's great.
Dude, I told you, Chris, I knew it.
So
Every
this
time.
is great. I blew it. So the answer. Oh, Brian is gonna die. All right, so
this is automatic, dude. I didn't even need to look.
All right, so I don't know the names because we have to look this up. But Marcotti, so it's the number of Italian players. They have 4 in Liga, 1 in the Bundesliga, 3 in the Premier League, and none in La Liga.
Top 5 leagues only.
Yeah.
Okay,
England is 15.
That's exactly what I said.
Well, but Chris buried that.
In fact, there were just 15 Englishmen playing in the German, French, Italian, and Spanish top flights. Just 3 of them, Jude Bellingham, Tammy Abraham, and Fiacco Tomori, have been capped in the past few seasons, which is actually fewer than the number of foreign-based Italians who made it into Roberto Mancini's squad.
But I'm sorry, I will disagree with Gab Marcotti on that. That's kind of a stupid data. It's like it's cool, like it's trivia and everything. But I'm sorry, it's a bit stupid. Because what's the take on that? Like you have to go abroad to get like other style of football, and because you play in your own championship, you're unable to compete, and that's why Italy doesn't qualify. That's stupid. Germany, they only play in Bayern Munich, and because they play in
his argument is actually that is a bad argument, but he used that as an example and then refutes it. So I should give Gab some credit.
Okay, but you see, I just demolished it. Like German, they only play in Germany.
Yes, he in the same way. Actually, the league, I believe, with the 60% is the highest top flight league. It looks like 60.7% of minutes played in the Portuguese top flight was gobbled up by non-Portuguese players.
Yes.
So it's clear that Portugal is a good nation, and so having foreigners play in your domestic league does not stifle domestic talent. Is his argument. We've lost the plot a little. I blame myself for that, especially because
it's okay. I'm glad that you corrected yourself. It was inevitable.
Anyway, okay. So, any other comments on Chelsea or Real Madrid? We really haven't talked about Chelsea. I thought Chelsea were a mess. And also the Mendy mistake was a disaster.
Ooh, is that worse than Donnarumma's mistake?
Yes.
So, not that I make takes based on Paris Saint-Germain all the time. But basically how you play in your national league, it carries on to the Champions League, and that's what Paris Saint-Germain doesn't understand, even if the opposition is lower. But like Chelsea at home lost against a derby, because people forget about that. Brentford and Chelsea are actually the closest club, I believe, to each other, so it's like a big derby. It's a big derby. Sorry, it's a big derby for Brentford fans.
Big for Brentford, probably. Yeah.
Chelsea are like, oh, you guys, where you guys at? Like,
we have a million of these derbies.
Well, there's so many London derbies. It's absurd.
Yeah.
The Northeast London derby.
And they just like, oh, this is a hiccup. This is just a hiccup. Don't worry, in Champions League we'll show up. No. Just same disaster you did in Premier League. It's the exact same thing. And it's the whole mess that started with Lukaku. Because like the guy is mopping on the bench, and rightfully so, it's cost a lot of money, and you'd think that he was honestly like on paper, like there is nothing to blame. I thought like to improve, they just need a striker to bury all the mess, all the chances Warner was skying. So that was right, but then
I thought so too. By the way, he couldn't have been worse at completing chances.
I know. But apparently it's because he doesn't count his efforts, and that's
well,
why
I will say in his defense though, he worked his butt off all year.
He does.
The whole time.
He's like Ferrari. He's good at being open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know.
So, but back to the whole thing is Ancelotti. I think nowadays he doesn't get the credits anymore because he just came from Everton and Napoli.
Ooh, we should talk about Everton at some point. They suck. Might get relegated. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
That's a running gag for Brian.
They're relegated.
His favorite Merseyside team. And even me, I was like, man, Real Madrid, they are getting Ancelotti again. It's going back with your ex. This is never good. This never works. This is gonna be a disaster. Ancelotti has lost it. Even me, I was thinking that myself, I'll be honest.
Me too.
And he just came here and basically also in interviews he's pretty honest, so you recognize when he makes a mistake, which I appreciate compared to Jose Mourinho. It's never his fault.
Never.
And it's like, yeah, this one's on me. The tactic was wrong. I got that wrong. Like when he lost 4-0 at home against Barca. And and you move on, you forget about that if you do good performances after. And that's why you understand that's when he's one of the greatest coach of all time, on top of being an outstanding striker back in the days. And because of the genius of Karim Benzema, a lot of analysts are saying like, oh yeah, he doesn't have like a tactics. It's only Karim that does everything for him. But then when you look at the small tactics that he does, when Lukaku goes on the pitch, he's like, okay, Alaba and Nacho, that's not gonna work, and that's what Tuchel. Oh my God, Tuchel. That's what Tuchel thought. It's like, hey, Nacho against Lukaku, mismatch. It's gonna work for Lukaku. And Ancelotti is like, yeah, I see what Tuchel tried to do. Casemiro, go back in the line, makes a back of 3, and you just man mark Lukaku like a beast against another beast. And like we didn't see much of Lukaku, as much as we didn't see a little bit of Pulisic. And so that brings me to the point, and that's bad because I was doing like a great positive take on Ancelotti's great analysis, but some pundits are getting are not liking that French newspaper L'Equipe gave Pulisic a 2 out of 10, which translate on the grade as a very poor performance. And they're like, oh, it's because he's American, he's poorly judged. And yeah, sometimes Americans are poorly judged. So on the positive side, so when they deserve a 6, which is satisfactory, they get a 5, which is average. But this one, it was deserved. And what L'Equipe said is exactly what I thought before I read it. It says he was a ghost. And yes, the old other Chelsea players were ghosts. But him, we didn't see enough of him. We didn't see anything of him. And that doesn't take back his last 3 weeks, which have been on fire. And we have several takes on TikTok of us saying like he's been on fire. He's great. He's going a great time for the US men's national team. That's perfect. But this game, he was nowhere. He was like Casper. He was a ghost, unfortunately. And you have to be honest. That's what comes with the football culture. Is you criticize and you give praises when they are due. And on this one, like he was nowhere, but that was a team sinkage. That was not just him, but he was part of that. But back to the take on Ancelotti masterclass, he also put Federico Valverde, who has not been playing a lot, and he's typically like a 8. That's pretty physical and powerful. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to put him on the wing because Asensio, and he had some issue with Rodrigo, which I think is injured. He's like, I'm gonna put Federico Valverde, and he's tried that before and it hasn't worked. But against Chelsea, he's like, okay, I think he was matching against Azpilicueta. And he's like, okay, that's a mistake for them and like powerful. And he owned the whole game, and those were like the two small things that you didn't really see too much on the game that basically made how Real Madrid was dominant and how Chelsea couldn't even get chances. Besides the sweet Jorginho cross right on Havertz's
Which was
head.
sweet.
Italy could have used a nice pass like that. Is what I was thinking when I saw that.
Yeah.
Immobile would have finished that, I bet.
No, he would not have.
Oh, I think he could have.
Well, we'll never know.
We sure won't. Lazio Immobile is putting that in all day.
Yeah, I know. Maybe, yeah, for Lazio, he might. For Lazio, he would have had a hat trick already. So here's my question to you, Brian. Does Chelsea come back?
They could. Yeah, I think they totally could. Ancelotti getting some credit is nice, but I really think that this is just Benzema. And, he could easily put in another awesome performance and take away the next leg. But I don't know. Chelsea's a bit Jekyll and Hyde, so I could see Tuchel coming up with something, and 2-0 will be a bit tough at the Bernabeu, but I don't know. Madrid still feels a bit gettable to me. They haven't exactly wowed me, and the 4-0 Barcelona thrashing is still in my head at the Bernabeu. So I think Chelsea is more than capable and could, a little early goal, get the momentum going. I could see it.
Chris?
So new fans of the sports, which there are a lot around these days, would be like, oh, it's over. And they clearly have not been paying attention and watched Champions League the last 5 years, which around quarterfinal and semi-final comeback, which in Spanish are called remontada, which Barca suffered from, AS Roma suffered or has been part of, and Paris Saint-Germain has suffered, so like probably one of the most humiliation of all time.
Over and over and over again.
So
I mean, pick any year.
Ouch. So had a United fan that told me like, oh, this is the annual meltdown. And that made me laugh.
Yeah, he's right, sadly, which is a shame because we're
so right.
Yeah, that was
tough. So yeah, you'd think that, oh my God, they walked over them. There is no way Chelsea can come back. And Tuchel played in that, like, yeah, it's over. And it's perfect. It's a perfect way to actually manage the expectation, because then Real Madrid player that's gonna think like, oh, we're gonna win this easy, like even the coach, but like in the locker room, Tuchel is not like, I was just saying that so that they get overconfident and arrogant. But I'm sorry, if like Tuchel is capable of those comebacks, and so it's not over for me. The only difference now, I know it's great that there is no away goals, because 2-0 is extra time. And it's not Real Madrid that goes through. So that doesn't mean Chelsea has to score 3. No, they only have to score 2, only 2. But Barca did it. And Chelsea is capable of, but they're going to have to be a bit more solid defensively. And it's going to rely on Pulisic, Mason Mount, and Havertz, and N'Golo Kante, which had to be subbed off at halftime, which also that's one of the key things is N'Golo Kante. I have to check. I didn't check how he's feeling, but yeah, N'Golo Kante is the reason why they won that tie last year. So N'Golo Kante has to be in form. Those are the key to the game, and it's not over.
Yeah, I also agree. I think there's plenty of football left to be played here. And so we're going back to the Bernabeu. We'll see how it goes. Let's move on.
The British like to call it the Bernabeu.
Oh no!
Dude, they're never even close. It's so good.
I know. And
Bernabeu.
And it's Pochettino, which is also my second favorite.
Oh, that could be that. They could say that in Spanish.
let's talk about Atletico, the other team in Madrid, Atletico City. I'll actually give this to Brian to recap. Brian's favorite team, Man City, and his second favorite team, Atletico.
Yeah, two super stubborn styles of play going up at it and resulting in a totally drab, horrible game. I find both teams responsible because Man City plays cat and mouse, and Atletico said, "Fine, we will just chase you around all night." And they didn't somehow attempt a single shot on target or period, any shots. And Phil Foden had an outstanding assist to Kevin De Bruyne, who buries it past Jan Oblak, who maybe in better form might make the save there, but he didn't. And yeah, I don't know. It's I'm sure that for the neutral fan watching Atletico go in there and put 11 guys behind the ball is pretty ridiculous. But I also hate Man City for just passing it around endlessly. So we got a brutal game. Hopefully it's a little bit different at
Going in
at Atletico.
Are you surprised?
No.
That's
game.
That's exactly the game that we thought we were gonna get. It's like we are who we thought they were.
I love watching Atletico's commitment to defending at times, but when they go up against a team that's so committed to just not losing the ball, you get that game, and yeah, no shots is tough to explain.
It is tough. I will just say this: the CBS Golazo Paramount Plus extended highlights are always between 10 and 13 minutes. This highlight package was 6. And I think that sums it all up for me. That's the game. Atletico was like, perfect. You're going to keep the ball and we're going to play behind it. And we'll see you in 90 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you back in Madrid. Hopefully they play a little bit different. They have to score now, so they will.
Foden's assist is nice. The mag was nice. I will say that. It was great.
Phil Foden, maybe England's only quality player.
Whoa.
Besides Harry Kane.
Even me, I'm not that tough.
I'm not tough. England stinks.
Foden or Kane?
That's
Foden.
Kane. I'm Kane.
I'm team Foden. I need a midfield. Have you watched these games with Harry Kane? He doesn't even get the ball sometimes for England. That's how useless they are.
England's a disaster. If you're asking me, like, who's better for England? Might be
No. I guess we didn't clarify. Technical ability of Phil Foden all day long. He's the only guy I've ever watched with England. I'm like, this guy could maybe play for another country. I've never thought that before.
Like Grealish.
Yeah, Grealish, and then he's stuck in Man City's bullshit. I don't know what happened to him. He hasn't been that. I was super pumped on him.
He doesn't get the ball. Like at Aston Villa, it was hilarious. They fed him.
Yeah, he was the only guy, which was tight. He would take everybody on. I loved that. He's not been as fun to watch at Man City.
But also, he has to play Pep's style, so it's sort of he's been castrated.
Commitment.
I mean, maybe he has, but he also is about to sign a sweet sponsorship deal with Gucci.
Gucci who? No, that's actually awesome. I think that's great. Get that money, Jack.
Okay, so Foden or Pedri?
Pedri.
I'm team Pedri as well.
Chris?
Man, we don't disagree with anything here. I mean,
I know.
That's
not a very hot take. We're out of the crossfire zone here.
I bet English people would pick Foden.
I have a take on Foden.
No, you don't believe that, Chris.
Micah Richards.
You don't have to fake it.
Yeah, Micah Richards only said the last 6 months of Karim Benzema performances convinced him he was a better player than Harry Kane. I mean, what a ridiculous statement is that?
Oh, dude, the English don't watch other leagues. That's a fact.
I can't even fathom that concept of the Karim Benzema has only in the last 6 months proven himself. I don't
think we can appreciate how in the bubble the English press is, or just English people in general, dude. It's the Prem and there's no other league. They just watch these 6 teams come into the Champions League like here and there and then beat their English teams and go, oh shit, can't believe that happened. Crazy, man.
Thierry Henry's face was saying it all on this clip. He was like, he didn't say any word. It was like you see, like you could see his soul leave his body from like being horrified by these comments.
I think that Micah realized, though. I think he realized when he said, he's like, this is wrong. But you know what? You're on live
that was
TV.
a real take, though. That was a real take. I refuse to believe that he just was like, I can't. Oops, just kind of messed that one up. Just looking for the hot take. These English pundits are so, I don't know. I think they're so out of it most of the time. It's an English perspective only, always.
Gary Neville came out with like, this is the most talented squad England has ever had since 1966. They are favorite for the World Cup. He missed to say one off. But one thing I'll say.
Can I just say something, Chris?
Yeah,
go ahead. Not only one of, the actual least favorited team in terms of the odds to top of the group in the World Cup. They of all the groups, to all the teams favored to win the group, they have the least percentage chance. They're minus 360 odds right now, which is
no way that that's right.
What do you mean?
I don't know. This feels like another Colburn, not quite accurate take.
This is a source. I'm going to go to Right to Fox Soccer. I was looking at it the other day.
Germany or Spain? There's no way.
No. Here we go. World Cup.
So Brazil is first, France is second, and England is third.
The favorite team from each group.
He's talking about getting out of the group to win the group.
The favorite group winner odds. The favorite group from each group and their odds to advance. The Netherlands as the top of Group A at minus 250. Group B is England at minus 303. They are the lowest.
That's what's the word? Those odds, the Netherlands is worse. Minus 250 is lower than minus 300.
So what I meant is that England is the most favored.
Oh, dude, I knew it, dude. I knew it, dude. Chris was trying. Dude, you need to clear these. You need to clear these things with us first. Oh, dude, he's not a gambler, Chris. Doesn't know how it works. Remember we were trying to explain to you the American odds? Colin just got it completely backwards.
So what I meant is Gary Neville has nailed it.
But one thing I'll say that goes against us in terms of our take against like England is that typically the excuses of English people not doing it is that, oh, the Premier League is a very intense league, and that's true. And all our players in June, they're like dead and they will need to go on vacation, and that's why they don't win the World Cup. And this time it's going to be November, so they're going to be in full mode. So I think, and that's true, like when I see like the Lampard, the Gerrard, they seem like washed a little bit when like they played in MLS. So that's one thing I will say that a lot of people don't pay attention to, is that this time it might actually favored Premier League player and English player particularly. So that's one thing I'll see that I would like to see if it confirms or if they are just truly the most cursed national team ever.
Yeah, well, we will have plenty of time to discuss that one.
So out of all of that, they're the most favored to win the group.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm kind of surprised. I actually would have put like maybe France, but
no. It's because like everywhere in the world, no one follows CONCACAF. Like in France, the only team they followed, it was like Canada, because French speaking Canada, and Montreal is the second city with most French people in the world after London, and French people like Canada. So that's why they're like, oh, look at, and there is Jonathan David that plays in France and he's great. So that's why they're like, okay, that's why like Canada is great. And so like when they did all the draws, they were like, out of pot 2, which team do you want to go against? And all of them said the USA. They're like the easiest draw would be to play against USA. And I even DM some of the French pundits and be like, be careful, they have a big generation. They have Joe Reyna that's like gonna go for $50 million to Premier League probably this summer. Pulisic has been great. McKennie, honestly, is probably very underrated. It's probably one of the best midfield to swoop. Right now, it looks like it's only worth $30 million. Even though we know that it doesn't matter like how much you play, and Juventus probably don't let him go for less than 50 million. But you need a good coach, because you don't win. You don't win these things without a good coach. There is no team that has won. Like if France that almost won it, they had a terrible coach and they lost it because they had a terrible coach, even though basically Zidane was the coach of that team. But so that's one.
I disagree, Chris. I would have picked us too if I was in pot A.
you would have picked us if you were in pot.
If I was a pot A nation and I could have picked a pot B team to be in my World Cup group, I would take an S.
Yeah, if you're honest, because for me it was between the USA and Mexico, and that's what also they were saying France. And basically,
Oh, I would take Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. But people don't watch those.
Yeah, or for Mexico.
They're scared of Mexico because first of all, France lost in 2010, but that was a different story where France was in total shambles and should not even have qualified to the World Cup with that Thierry Henry hand. And after that, VAR is bad. VAR is bad. Well, with VAR, France doesn't make it to that World Cup. So that's one of my shots. Yes, it's not great, but it will get better with time. So but people don't watch it, and they're like, Mexico has a history of making it to the round of 16, where the US, they missed the last World Cup, so that was the main thing. But when you look at the team on the rise, is the US, and Mexico's down. But even as much as people hate Tata, and I hated when he was at Barca. Basically, he was like Messi's friend. Tata is still a better coach than cousin Greg, and I think we all agree on that. That's not a hot take.
No, it's not. Except
I'm
Brian
Messi's friend, so
yeah, I was gonna say Brian was Messi's friend. No
one likes more Instagram Messi posts than me.
Yeah, you and the other 75 million people on planet Earth who I can't even believe those people.
Me and like
Brian,
we're liking all these
Instagram photos of Messi. It's like a faceless thing. It's ridiculous. Anyway, okay, quick. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. Atletico and City. Do Atletico have an opportunity on the return leg? Yes or no?
Hell yeah, of course.
Chris?
Manchester City is cursed. They're gonna have to play. I think they have a chance. Yeah, you can put it. I mean, City is highly favored, but I was gonna say Vicente Calderon, but now it's Wanda Metropolitano. Yeah, and they know there's this atmosphere and they can make it happen. So absolutely, Atletico has a chance.
Atletico fans are going to be crazy. I love that. I love their environment.
We're team Atletico on this podcast.
Man City doesn't take enough risks, in my opinion. They just play with the ball. It's very safe, and then sometimes bad shit happens and they can't overcome it. So we'll see. It's one game, so of course.
Speaking of some interesting ties, this was a shocker for us. Villarreal with the 1-0 victory over Bayern Munich in the first leg at home. The Yellow Submarine, baby. I'm loving that. Let me just tell you, the Yellow Submarine has knocked off Italian giants Atalanta and Juventus, with an emphasis on Atalanta as an Italian giant. Before coming in, they are hot, and they proved that they actually have something. Unai Emery's got a little something going on here. I'm stunned by this result. Bayern was all over the place. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Didn't they knock someone out in the group stage too? That was good.
No, Atalanta. I thought they beat them in the group stage.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Thoughts? A sweet goal from the Yellow Submarine. That's all I saw. I'm sure Bayern had a ton of chances. They will go back to Munich and beat the wheels off of Villareal, and we'll forget about that 1-0 loss.
Do you think, really?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
Chris?
Absolutely. So they didn't do.
Gonna beat the wheels off of it.
Beat the wheels off him. Dude.
It's
gonna be a Lewandowski 3-0 hat trick inside like 25 minutes, and it is gonna be over.
I'm Team Villareal because I like the story. They continue to roll, but Chris.
Yeah, I'll try to make it short because I almost forgot it's Unai Emery's team, former Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal coach.
That PSG reference in there.
So Nagelsmann, he's kind of a theoretician of the game, and he's been playing with crazy offensive tactics. We're like playing with Coman as a right wing back and left wing back while Alphonso Davies makes his return. That was great to see. Even though he's a little bit out of form, but he made a great save. I thought that was Upamecano because Upamecano should make a save like this, but Upamecano has been awful. Unfortunately, he should have been the successor to Umtiti, but he's failing at doing that, even though he's still young. But
Plenty of time, Chris. Plenty of time.
he's 22. Hopefully, Nagelsmann has a lot of confidence in him, and he can restore all of that. But like I've seen stuff that I've never seen before. Neuer in the middle of the park, losing the ball at his feet and almost conceding a well, I forgot exactly if it was a 50 yards out or 45 yards out lob with Neuer out of range. Thomas Muller, who's usually under pressure and confidence, never gets hit. Like, it was not really good. He got subbed off by Musiala, up and coming German player that played much better than him. And even Lewandowski was not at his best. I mean, he didn't get any chances, so that's difficult to score when you don't get balls. But even though like he didn't seem in his link-up play to be that well, so again, that's why my take on Karim Benzema being the best number 9 at the moment. If you isolate Kylian Mbappe, that's out of Champions League, obviously. But yeah, if you talk about the return leg, absolutely no problem, no danger of qualification at the Allianz Arena. They're just gonna win 6-2 and you're gonna go.
Am I the only one on the other side? I'm kind of rooting for Villareal.
That's okay. We can root for them, but they don't have a chance.
Obviously, you are the Latin guy that I used to be too, like the Davids against Goliath, and yeah,
I know, I love it. There's a certain appeals to me.
Yay! and honestly, like, okay, besides me being trained to be the American, you're like, yeah, Goliath's gonna win, Goliath win.
No, Americans love underdogs, Chris. Let me tell you.
They do.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Generally.
So Villareal. It's a great story, and that's a story also that speaks against a Super League, that speaks against a closed league. Is that in a closed league, Villareal, they don't get invited. Atalanta, they don't get invited. Ajax, maybe they do because they won before, and there is like a little bit of history, but they're not the first one to make it to the closed league. Even so, some people saying it's already a closed league. Look at it's always the same four that makes it. Yes, but there is like 1 or 2 teams that don't make it and that revolutionize the game, just like Ajax did, just like Atalanta did, and just like Villareal.
Leicester City was an excellent example in the Premier League. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because
and also the financial fair play rules are tightening. So let's not forget that.
I don't know about that. Actually, it sounds like it is, but actually it's not. So now you have like 3 years to make it back to a deficit that's not as much as like $100 million. So basically, like, you can be in deficit. You have to be 70% of your revenue, which it sounds like it's a lot, but that's why also Paris Saint-Germain. It's Colburn's day today. You see, that's why.
Yeah.
He's saying, let's don't run me over, Chris. You brought that up. I was not gonna.
No. It's more.
Okay. Yeah, he brought it up and he's wrong again. Guy's unreal. Can't take any facts from him seriously.
No, but the good story of Villareal is Unai Emery is probably a coach like the highest level of team that he can coach is probably Sevilla. Like anything that's like as a big town. And big history, too much pressure for him. And he said that before, like, it's too much pressure for me. And Villareal is perfect for him. He gets to be the manager. There is not too much pressure in the city for him. Not too much criticism. So it's like, you know,
I would love that too.
Yeah, it's like the US men's national team fandom of the last 50 years, where you're not allowed to criticize the team and everything's great. We made it, and even if we sucked and we could have, we just made it through goal difference. Yay! Let's forget everything's great. Yay! It's just to participate. No, it's not to win. You know, it's not to get better. So and that's perfect for him. But like, yeah, also great. Great team plan, perfect. He took Nagelsmann's lunch on this first leg, but I don't think he's gonna make it. Unfortunately, we thought the same thing with Salzburg.
Get upset. They never get upset.
Did the same thing, like 1-1. And Bayern Munich, you know, it's not like, you know, that's a team that's not afraid to score 4 or 5 goals and to run over you. It's not like a French team that be like, oh, we're winning 2-0. That's it. We'll keep 2-0. No. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They don't care. They keep going. That's how they respect you. They score as much as they can. And that's perfect in Champions League. So that would be the biggest upset if Bayern Munich doesn't make it.
Huge. And I don't think it's going to happen.
Final Champions League discussion matchup was Liverpool. Chris, Liverpool's cruising.
Yeah, from the get-go. So I'm sorry, French Tech, obviously. So before this year, I didn't really understand Joel Matip, and I thought he was basically like the weakest link with Joe Gomez that has been relegated to the bench. And I didn't really appreciate Joel Matip, who's Cameroonese. I found it a bit sluggish, a bit slow, and not too good with his feet. And since Klopp brought Konate from Leipzig, he's gotten much better. And Matip has been great. He's been almost better than Van Dijk. Almost, I said. And he decided to put Konate in the starting 11, and that was surprising to me because he hasn't played in like 5 games or something like this. And Joel Matip has been running over like the pitch in defense, so that was a bit surprising to me. And Konate scores. He dominates on a corner, but also he cost his team the goal of Darwin Núñez, which is a 22-year-old Uruguayan striker that's gonna be a top goal scorer in the world, and next year probably gonna go to a top team in La Liga.
Oh, we love the Uruguayans.
So fighting spirit, like Grinta and everything. But like, yeah, they dominate, and they're like, okay, it's okay, 1-1, it's okay. We'll score another one. We're confident. We'll do the crosses, and eventually we'll score. And yeah, Naby Keita goes to, I believe, Mane. That goes to Luis Diaz. That's been outstanding also. And they just signed Fabio Carvalho, which I didn't really know a lot. Like Liverpool is outstanding in terms of like, oh, what? Salah, you want to leave? Okay, we signed Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, and Fabio Carvalho. We think he's gonna be great. You want to leave? It's okay, you can leave now. Yeah, 33. You want more than $33 million a year? Okay, you can leave now. It's okay. We'll find your replacement, and he's much younger than you. So that's perfect team management.
Perfect. Yes.
It's and also like Klopp is amazing, like hug therapy, and how he's able to maintain even if Divock Origi looks like it's gonna leave to Milan next year, but like keeping those super subs and knowing to be like, okay, like Joe Gomez, I've asked too much of you, Divock Origi, I've asked too much of you, and you never played, and now it's time to go, and I'm gonna have to find other super sub or like the academy also, which Paris Saint-Germain doesn't use. So yeah, Liverpool, they're gonna cruise. Unfortunately, Benfica, the fact that they were able to maintain resistance at home against Liverpool was already impressive. But at Anfield, I don't think, even though we've seen against Inter Milan at the previous leg but Inter Milan was a superior team and squad than Benfica. So that's gonna be the end of it, and we're gonna have our final 4, which are gonna be pretty much the team that we see at this stage very frequently.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I think
Liverpool, I love Liverpool. They're great. They take care of business.
And Benfica has no chance in the return leg.
It would have been nice if this was Ajax. I would have enjoyed that a bit more.
Yeah, it would have been great.
You already cursed them, unfortunately.
I know. Curse the shit out of them.
That's what happened. Sebastian Haller choosing Ivory Coast instead of France. That's what happened to you when you do stuff like this.
That wraps our Champions League coverage. I'm excited for the return legs. There's a lot of football to be played on all of these games. We're super excited about. Let's move on to the.
And they're all next week, which is nice. It's not like we got to wait a while.
Yeah, we're here to. This is April now. We're here to move. We gotta.
I know this is really when it starts to like pick up pace.
It's nice. The business end of the tournament, as Ian Dark would say.
I think this is the best sports time of the year too. Like March to like May.
What about October?
It's between those two.
Depending on how your bracket does, I think influences whether or not you think it's a great time of year. At least for me, it does.
No, not true. Not true for me.
Europa League, we're actually about to discuss two draws. Atalanta, Leipzig, and Eintracht Frankfurt, Barcelona. We'll start with Atalanta. Atalanta with Luis Muriel, a sweet goal. And then also they conceded after a very nice penalty save. Unfortunately, to get the 1-1 draw. They're going to go back to Atalanta. They're going to go back to Bergamo for the return leg. That'll be an interesting one, but I'm team Atalanta here, gentlemen. So I'm very biased, but it's nice to see Luis Muriel back in the squad, back healthy, and also contributing. That goal was smooth.
Europa League, Atalanta, Leipzig. I don't have much on this.
That's all right. Barcelona, Eintracht.
I think you only, 1-1. Dude. If this was a different game and it wasn't Atalanta, you don't care.
You're right. That's true. In the same way that we're about to talk about Barcelona, Frankfurt 1-1. Two very nice goals in this game, by the way. Classic Barcelona and a nice long range cannon for Eintracht Frankfurt.
The only thing I have to say about this Europa League, I do want Barcelona to win it. I think that'd be nice. They're the best team in it for sure. But some of these other teams that aren't looking so good for Champions League or other Europa League qualification needed a little bit more. Since Barcelona's form has come back and they're in second place now. I'm looking at you, Bergamo boy, Atalanta.
Oh, they need it desperately. We're flailing. Partially because we don't have Muriel, Ilicic, and Zapata have all been out. So they can't score, which is a problem. Also a problem for the Italian national team as well. But they have Muriel back and he put in a goal, which is nice. Malinovsky has been their main form of offense, and he's not a forward.
No, he's a 10 though. I think Chris is just getting pumped up to talk about West Ham Lyon.
Oh wow! Yeah, I was just gonna say we're not gonna talk about that draw, but like let me just talk a little bit about Barca very quickly. I watched the whole game. Adama Traore was playing, and like nothing much was happening, and there was like a little bit of like a small player that came in at the 62th minute, and he cannot change the whole thing. Dribbling and passing through like in speed, and then starting the whole key pass triangle that led to the goal of Fernan Torres. So if you didn't understand the mystery boy, it was Ousmane Dembélé. But yeah, that's one thing I'll say. Like in Europa League, like Barca, like they don't seem as dominant in La Liga, even though La Liga level has gone down. And also, yeah, for La Liga, so back to Lyon, who's not gonna qualify for a European competition next year, even a Conference League. So they have to win this whole thing. And also just generally for France, the third team doesn't qualify automatically. They have to go through 2 rounds of playoffs. So if the winner of Europa League is already qualified by their championship, the national championship, then France number 3rd is automatically qualified. So there is a lot of Ligue 1 presidents and owners that are watching the final of the Europa League. I mean, actually, the ones that are in 3rd, actually not. But so, yeah, the commentators kept saying Olympique de Lyon. Okay, so it's Olympique de Marseille and Olympique Lyonnais. So I kept saying, like, they keep saying like Olympique de Lyon is like Olympique Lyonnais. So he can't hear me, but yeah, that's like that was one thing. But one thing that was weird is that West Ham did play like a good old kick and rush at home. Like they did play like a good old like English team. Like, oh yeah, it's not Champions League, we don't care. Why are we in quarterfinal? Oh yeah, I don't want to be here. Oh, we are home. Oh yeah, the fans came in to see us. Okay, let's just like sit back. And like Lyon was like, first of all, that was the best game of Lyon of the whole year that I've seen them play. And West Ham had like absolutely no interest in playing today. So that was kind of like aberrant to see. And I don't know if you saw, but now, you are able to sign until the remaining of the season players that currently have a contract with a Ukrainian club or a Russian one. And Lyon signed Tete, a uprising Shakhtar Donetsk player. So they were able to sign him until the end of the season, so only for the next 2 months. And he's like a 22-year-old Brazilian that dribbles past, and he's Shakhtar Donetsk put in like I think 22 or 25 million dollars to buy him from a team in Brazil. Got a lot of money. And the guy is out of shape. And even though he's out of shape, the goal came from him dribbling. Even if he missed the remaining of the game and he missed every tentative of dribble of any of the game, it was very unsuccessful. But like the goal came from him. And he's a very talented player, like, kind of like Lucas Paqueta's vibe. So really good pick from Lyon. And Ndombele has had like an amazing game. It feels like, hey, I'm playing in Premier League. I want to show them that, like, hey, I can play in Premier League. But that's the problem with Ndombele, like he chooses his game and he's not consistent, a little bit like Pogba. So 1-1, even if there was a red card at the end of the first half, and Lyon should have gone away with 2-1. There was like, I believe there was like 2 point something expected goals, and it was only a draw 1-1. And there is no more the away goal. So basically, Lyon's going to have to win it, but it's going to be at home. And this season, Lyon has been better away than at home. So, but if they play like they play today, they are favorites to win it all. And then they're gonna play against Barca in semi-finals. So it's gonna be a different story. But at least, gonna see a French club in semi-final. That would be exciting.
That would be exciting, and I think they could win the Europa League if only they could bring back Kareem the Dream.
That's right.
That won't be happening for them.
Yeah, each year they try, and each year Karim Benzema extends his contract by 1 year because Real Madrid is also. I was going to say perfectly run, but it's actually not true when you think about the Eden Hazard, the Gareth Bale of the world, the Jovic, the Marcelo, that are basically like still there, not playing and just going until the end of the contract, which a lot of Parisian players do too. But when you don't think about that, but like in Real Madrid, there is a lot of that too. But on their strategy of like, if you're over 30, it doesn't matter if you're a legend of the club, just like Ramos. No, it's only a 1 year extension, and each year you get less money. And that's how you run a club.
True. I agree.
The club is bigger than any individual, even if you're a legend like Ramos or Benzema.
Or Ronaldo.
Or Ronaldo.
Or Messi.
Yeah, he left.
No. Messi's never played at Real Madrid.
Well, I mean, they had to run a club, right? I mean, nobody's bigger than the club.
Well, the Messi could be, but he's the exception.
Oh man. Well, with that, I think that concludes our Europa League talk. And that concludes talking soccer. So this is what we last item for us is CONMEBOL Copa America. We love our South American soccer here on this podcast. Potential for it to be coming to the United States in 2024. I'm sure, because the infrastructure in the United States is there, and so is the money, compared to some of the potential logistical issues that have happened in the past with Copa America. What do you think? From my perspective, I can't wait. I will be there. International competitions that are real. So none of this International Champions Cup that we normally watch here in the summer in the United States. If it's a real competition, I will be there.
Yeah.
I like it better in South America.
That's how it should be.
I think it's fair, of course. It's being like, we're going to do the European Championships in Africa.
I know, or like in Saudi Arabia.
What of course, it's like that. What do you mean, Brian?
Well, I mean that it's going to come here. That's cool, but it won't be as cool as if they hosted it in, I don't know, any South American country.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to watch it either way.
And I'll be if it's here.
Instead of watching these sick crowds in Brazil or Chile, I'm going to be watching these less sick crowds here.
Of course. I guess I agree, but I'll be there. And
But
that's
if
the
there's a
difference.
game at the PayPal Park up the street here in San Jose, I'll be there.
It's called the PayPal Park. I thought it was
That's where the
Levi's
Earthquakes play.
Stadium.
No, they won't host. Levi Stadium would host. I was making a joke about the Earthquakes.
Okay.
PayPal
Oh.
Park.
Yikes.
So yeah, basically, if it wasn't about the money, it would be hosted in Ecuador and Peru, it sounds like. One thing that they've changed also, like they stopped doing like they're like, oh, we're gonna do one every year. Oh, we're gonna do one every 2 years. Because like at some point it was like the frequency was every 2 years. And then they even do it like every year, which basically like, oh, we're running out of money. We need to make one. And now they decided, okay, we cannot do that anymore. We're gonna have to do it one every 4 years. And to me, that was before COVID, I believe, that decision. And to me, that's like, okay, this is better for the integrity of the competition, but this is not good for money. And those are the federations, some of the poorest federation in the world, and they need the money. And to me, that's why for me, like, I don't want to get ahead of the curve and everything, but that's why for me, like, it's definitely happening in the US because the only reason it's coming is for the money. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not the only reason it's coming for the money. The major reason why it's happening is for the money. Now there is an argument that could be made about like US and Canada's level has gone to a level that's actually reasonable that they could make it to a semifinal, which technically for the last time the US has been invited to the Copa America from the stats that I've seen. And I hope I won't change that as Colburn usually does it. So let me try.
Nice.
The US has finished twice fourth. They didn't make it out to the group stage once, and they only make it, and then they make it out of the group stage once, or round of 16. So they made it 4 times, I believe, if I'm correct.
Chris, unlike Colburn, I trust you.
I
bet you're right on the money.
I'm the stats guy. 1950, 2002, 2006, 2010.
Are you just saying? Are you just saying years or what?
Yeah. Just ignore me. I was actually watching Roma highlights right now. They lost today to Bordeaux Glimt or something. I never even heard of that team. I was like, couldn't believe it.
Conference League?
Second
Yeah.
It's the second time they lost. The last time, that was the first time Jose Mourinho almost lost it. And he said, like, I don't have a squad. I only have 10, 12 players I can play with.
Yeah, completely unacceptable. They lost 2-1. Anyway, so that threw me out.
You're bringing us out of the topic for once.
Sorry, yeah.
That's
sorry.
Brings us on a French Tech and outside of topic. But all right, I'm very good and good students being like really on topic.
I know it's all my
we can
fault.
only have one rogue guy on this podcast, and it's got to be Chris. Can't be you too, Colburn.
I know. I got completely distracted by Roma highlights.
Okay. Photo glimpse. Nice.
So Copa America. So few things. So 2024. So after the 2022 World Cup, the US men's national team basically won't have a real tournament to judge themselves, and they're basically being playing friendlies.
Also, okay, I'm going to say another factor, which could be wrong, but they haven't determined how the US is going to go through the period of time between this World Cup and the next one.
Isn't it what I just said?
No, but also, I mean, like, so they won't have, of course, they won't have a competitive tournament, but I think that they can still potentially, they have to figure out how those games are going to go. So there will still be meaningful games. But they wouldn't have played. I mean, they're going to play in the Gold Cup.
Okay, that's exactly what I said this is exactly what I meant. Sorry, by they won't be playing in a meaningful tournament.
But they never do otherwise.
Yeah, and also the Gold Cup is not a FIFA date, which means
it's like the MLS.
Which means they will bring the MLS guys. And for me, that's why, and I was thinking about that the whole week of why GG, Triple G, Cousin Greg likes those MLS guys. Besides the conspiracy theory of like his brother actually just got promoted to EVP operations of MLS and not USS Soccer anymore. So he's probably groomed to be the successor to Don Garber when his mandate finishes. But if you put that conspiracy theory to the side, if he wants to win competition, and as much as we laugh about the Gold Cup, like if he would have lost against Mexico against the the Gold Cup, we would have been the first one to be like, you see, he can't even win the Gold Cup, and he wouldn't have this perfect record in a 1 year, beat Mexico 4 times. So at the end of the day, and also Mexico almost brought their A- squad, and we beat them with an MLS squad. So he needs plus PFOC. So he needs those guys, those Bayern guys. So he cannot have just MLS guys that goes to the Gold Cup and have like a team chemistry and win it. So that's why I think he's buying into that. But that's not gonna. I'm sorry. I watched the Gold Cup probably more than all of you, and
definitely
I try to get excited when they play.
Way more than Brian.
Martinique, Guyana, French Guyana, Cuba, and like the same story of like Cuba when they lost.
Oh, if it's not Florin Maluda playing, I'm not interested.
Nice.
He tried to play and then he got banned. Okay. So that's what I said also last time is that what happened last time is that if you're qualified in UEFA, what they do is they put you in a qualified group so that you have all the groups that have the same numbers of teams. And so when typically you would have I forgot how you say that, a day where you could skip because then you play a friendly against this team. And I don't know if you call that competitive, but technically still a friendly because then you don't score points and all that stuff. And so that's why for me, this Copa America in 2024 against Brazil and Argentina and Uruguay for the top, and maybe Colombia's going to get better. And it's 2 years before a World Cup. You can test a few things and see your real level. Even though 2 years before an event, it doesn't really tell the whole story. It does, like for us right now, we don't know. Like we don't know. There is this thing on social media like, oh, if the US would have been in the CONMEBOL Confederation, they would have definitely qualified to the World Cup. I don't know. Do they beat Peru?
Who's saying that?
US fans.
That's wrong.
That's not us.
No, not on this podcast.
So
no chance, dude. Thank God we don't have to go to South America. We get punished by those guys.
Oh,
so,
brutally.
To make money, US needs to play against Mexico in the Gold Cup. But for the US men's national team to level up, they need to play against Brazil and Argentina more regularly. So eventually, they'll have to merge. At least for the Copa America, for the qualifying to the World Cup, even if everyone's going to qualify to the next World Cup anyways, it's going to be like
even Italy.
I knew where that was headed. Chris, let's move on.
Just put that right on a T.
Not everybody is going to qualify.
Just put that on a T for me, Chris. Dude, even the Italians might sneak their way in.
Yeah, even Italy will qualify now with more.
North American combo would be awesome for us qualifying.
I think it's great. I agree with you, Chris. I think that they do need to tune up, being able to play against that level of competition. There's not going to be anything else. So I do agree. I think it's. And you still
keep the Gold Cup, which first of all is an outrageous name for a tournament. First of all,
and usually, I think it's perfect for the CONCACAF, dude. The Gold Cup.
Like Coupe d'Or, even the Canadian find a French name which sounds even more outrageous in French. I would prefer the Golden Cup than the Gold Cup, honestly, but that's a different story.
I prefer Real Salt Lake.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Chris. The Gold Cup ain't broke.
It feels so perfect for us. I would enter all those competitions. I would enter
Yeah, but like what the CONMEBOL did by naming their competition Copa America is actually something the US would typically do. For example, when you win the NBA,
World Series,
you are world champion.
Yeah.
Like you win South America, you are winner of the Americas. Doesn't matter
true.
Mexico or the US or Canada. We beat them anyways.
Yep, they would. It's true. I like it. I like what they've
Probably
done.
right, but still, like I like the arrogance. And so for me, if you really want to be the Copa America or Copa de Americas or whatever, that would be my dream. And just like you, Coburn, I would buy tickets, and I hope we can go watch.
Oh,
together.
I would fly down to Buenos Aires. I would fly
Crazy guy.
to, I would do that. Oh, 100%.
I've never been to
I
South
would go to
America.
Chile,
So
I would go to
I would
Peru,
love
I
to
would go to Ecuador. 100%.
Yeah, Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires. I really want to go. So actually, yeah, maybe that would be a good way to. But that's the thing. Like, you just go for a week. You go for the whole tournament.
Yeah, it's far.
Here's the thing with the Copa America. I agree we should be playing in it. I don't want to host it unless the money thing, whatever, South America is too poor and too corrupt or whatever. It would be way better for us if we had to go to Ecuador and play in the Copa America there instead of us hosting it and then hosting the World Cup. Too many home games. We stink on the road. This is proven that we are competent at home. We need to get better and tougher on the road.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I completely agree with you. I think like, okay, for this one to host it so that I can actually go watch the game once, a good meaningful game once, that's fine. But then after the one in 4
Well, Chris,
years,
you and I can watch Serie A when they come here this
that's
weekend.
true. Yes,
Can't wait
Scamacca,
for that.
Fratesi, Berardi.
Oh,
I will see McMahon. I know, sorry, is that the World Cup. I didn't do that on purpose. That was not even me. I was not trying to.
wonder what
It's gonna be, what's
Donnarumma
his
and
name?
Verratti will
The
do during
Romanian
that.
Tatarusanu that used to play for Olympique Lyonnais. I was gonna say, oh no, he's gonna make it. No, Romania didn't make it to the World Cup, so it's gonna be there. Yeah, I'd love to see some good games. So exactly, 2024 Copa America here, and then after, I hope the US, Mexico, Canada, and other CONCACAF team can join. And then after, you play in South America. It cannot be all the time, just like the US holds the Gold Cups all the time.
Oh, that's my favorite part about the Gold Cup is we always host it too. Hey, where's that Gold Cup down in Costa Rica? No. We got it again, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, how stupid is that? Oh, what a waste of time. All right. Well, gentlemen, thanks for any other final comments here before we wrap?
Man City, Liverpool, 8:30 on Sunday. Colburn, be there.
I will be there. I'm
Really?
emerging from my hole. So
8:30 on a Sunday, dude, you got no excuse. If I get a phone call and you're gonna be like, hey, I'm at TJ Maxx again, I'm gonna come down there and slap the shit out of you.
Yeah, TJ Maxx isn't open at 8:30, so I won't be there.
Thank God.
Chris?
Yeah, that's the biggest game of the weekend. It's like another basically Champions League game, and I believe they will play each other in semi-final again. So soon. So it's gonna be pretty huge game. It might be a bit disappointing, but yeah, that's the game of the week, and there is no other game that's as exciting as this game. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Liverpool's only 1 point back too.
Yeah, no, this title race. That's
This is it.
This is pretty much it. Yeah.
Besides the race for fourth, this is it in England.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I forgot about that. We said Arsenal is our favorite, but now they've not been playing as well, and Tottenham is actually picking up form. So I'm feeling a bit wobbly on that bet.
So we gave up on Conte a little too soon.
A little bit.
I'll speak for yourself.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for the time. Everyone, thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Again, Supersub Pod. This will be on YouTube. We're also our clips, our best moments, as you would, is on TikTok and also Instagram. Supersub Pod. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. We'll see you back next week. We're going to analyze, most importantly, round 2 or the second leg of these Champions League fixtures. We have a lot of football left to be played. Business end of the tournament. Thank you all. Take care, and we'll be back.
Hey,
next
one
week.
last thing before we go. A pop quiz. How many points above the relegation zone is Everton?
Is
Four.
it a trick question? One.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
but-
1. 1 point.
They have 2 games in hand.
No, they have the same amount of games played as Burnley.
What
really?
a bunch of losers.
Don't
29
worry.
games for Burnley. They're in 18th. 24 points, and Everton is in 17th place, 29 games, 25 points.
Your biggest
So
dream won't happen,
that sucks ass. Those guys suck.
Brian. Your biggest dream won't happen. It will be Norwich, Burnley, and who's the third team?
Watford.
I think the point is proven simply because they're in the conversation.
Dude, they're right there. Leeds is kind of in the mix too, because Leeds has 30 points with 31 games.
No. Leeds is pretty much I know they still need to
They
win
have 2 more games though.
one game. I know, but they need to win one game, but they've been they
I
have
know.
confidence now. For me, they're
What's their final stretch of games?
they play
Everton's
with
is
Norwich.
so hard. You ready for this? Dude,
Yeah.
these guys are going down.
Oh,
All right,
this is
they
gonna be
play
great.
They play Saturday against Man United, Wednesday Leicester, Sunday at Liverpool. That's 0 points out of 9. Then Chelsea, tough, at Leicester. Okay. Watford, Brentford, Crystal Palace, and at Arsenal.
Oof. That's actually
They played Leicester twice.
do they
That's
miss?
weird.
So the only team they really missed there is like Man City.
Yeah. They've already
And
lost them
maybe
twice. I don't even
Tottenham.
have to look.
Because even Crystal Palace, that sounds like it's easy. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, they've got some French dudes, I've heard.
Jean-Philippe Mateta, I don't know. I would prefer Hudson Edouard, but
I long for the Johan Kabay days at Crystal Palace.
Ooh,
my God.
Nice. Throwback. Johan Kabay. That guy was pretty
Yeah.
nice.
he played for the French national team, and
He
that
did.
tells you this team didn't have the world-class level at that time. And he played that when Pogba started. That was World Cup in Brazil 2014. So yeah, that tells you. And yeah, I think he no, not the 2008, but yeah, that's he was okay.
Oh, I'm so curious to see how this goes. Oh, Burnley and Watford. What a disaster for Everton.
Dude, Everton just lost to Burnley as well on Wednesday, 3-2. That's their most recent Premier League performance.
They've won 1 in 5.
Crucial.
He's
Guess
just-
this is great. They're 1 of 3 and 11 away from home. 1, 3 and 11. They stink.
Am I rooting against them?
They've won 7 games all year. They suck.
I don't know, man. I think it'd be freaking hilarious if they went down. That's all I have to say.
Let's look at who they fielded against.
No, you know who's going to rescue them, though, is that super nice signing of Dele Alli.
Oh my God, he didn't even play. He was on the bench. What a disaster. Look at this. Look at this. This is who they played. They played Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, and Iwobi. They played a 4-3-3. Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, and Iwobi. Doucouré, Holgate, and Gordon. Mykolenko, I don't know it. Braithwaite, Godfrey, Kenyon, and Pickford in goal. Seamus Coleman on the bench. Demari Gray came in. Solomon Rondon came in the 87th minute. Good God. And Dele
Dude,
Alli
they
did
have
not
so
play.
many guys that I've heard of. This is so incredible.
Including their manager, Frank Lampard. What a disaster.
Oh, I forgot this guy, dude. He's going to rescue them for sure.
Excuse me, I'm new to this game. I thought Jordan Pickford was the best goalkeeper England has ever had since Gordon Banks. How come he plays for a team that's fighting for championship relegation?
They've given up 52 goals this year. That's not good.
Also, Richarlison's 2 goals, the 3-2, were both penalties.
I saw that.
They stink.
They stink. All right, that's it. That's my last take of the night.
Very positive.
Everton watch. Everton sucks watch. Courtesy of me.
Oh, that's great. We're going to clip that too, which is my favorite part. All right. Thanks, everyone. Let's check in on Everton next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Peace.
Ciao, ciao.